Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the top 10 features that I'd like to see added in the next Grand Theft Auto Online DLC update, which of course we're all guessing is going to be coming out in May, and for now, it's something I'm calling the May 2016 DLC. So as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below on what you think of my list, as well as some changes or other things you would want to add or remove. And also keep in mind, some of these things on this list are certainly very achievable, some of them a little bit less achievable, but I still think are very, very awesome. So with out of the way, let's not waste any more time and let's get it started. Now, the first three things we're going to be talking about today are options that I would like to see changed in the Los Santos Custom Shop and Benny's Original Motorworks. The first of which is the option to change the chrome accents on some cars to black, and ultimately vice versa. So the trim options have gotten a little bit better as we've been able to take more cars into Benny's Original Motorworks, but there's still a ton of vehicles that can only go in the Los Santos Custom Shop that don't have the option to change accents on the cars. So whether it's bumpers, whether it's fenders, whether it's mirrors, I think having options to make something chrome, black, carbon fiber, even like a steel version would be super cool, because a lot of the times we're simply limited to a primary and a secondary color, and a lot of the times that isn't enough to do some of the great customization that I know a lot of us really do want to achieve. So this is one of those things that I think could be easily accomplished, although it might take a little bit of time from Rockstar identifying all of the accent pieces, if you can see my air quotes, that would be available on certain vehicles. But I'm talking about things like mirrors, bumpers, fenders, even like the the grill, instead of having it black, you wanted it chrome. That could be something that is extremely cool, because not every car has those features. So if there was a universal way to change all those, that would be really great. All right, number two, I'd love to see a cart style checkout system. And what I mean by that is, instead of paying for all the upgrades you do in Benny's or the Los Santos Custom Shop when you make them, you have to pay for them when you leave the shop or when you're done, doing all your customization and upgrading. So think about it. Let's say you were to go to a grocery store like Walmart or wherever you go shopping, and you put cereal, milk, and then you go get bread and you put it in your cart. You don't immediately pay for it right then and there. What if you decide that, 5 minutes later, you want a different type of cereal? Well, in a grocery store setting, you wouldn't be charged for the cereal you put in your cart. You'd simply go back, put the cereal back on the shelf, and then grab the one you wanted. And that's how it should work in Grand Theft Auto Online, because I know a lot of people like to play around with different paint jobs and different pearlescents, and the only way to know how a pearlescent's going to work or how a paint job is going to look is to purchase it and then go to another paint job or secondary color and see how it's going to look. Same with the customization. You can't really get a good feel for it and how it looks with potentially other designs until you actually buy it. So I think Rockstar is punishing people that want to experiment with cars, even though they technically haven't even left Benny's or the Los Santos Custom Shop. And I think this would be such an easy thing to fix. So instead of buying everything individually, when you wanted to leave, you would get total price, and it would say like 200,000, 300,000, 100,000. However much you spent, that would be the total price. And I think that would be really, really easy. And I think Rockstar could even go as far as breaking down at the end, kind of like a receipt. At the grocery store, you get a receipt too that tells you how much each thing was. And that's something else they could do to let you know how much each individual item is ultimately going to cost. So I think that is a pretty cool idea. All right, number three, the last thing I'd like to see as far as in the Los Santos Custom Shop or Benny's is the option to clean out a car's interior. So I don't know if you guys have ever taken some old school or rusty cars into Los Santos Custom Shop, but a lot of times they'll have pieces of paper, or they'll have trash, or they'll have a coffee cup in the cup holder. And to some people that could be really unappealing. Some people might like it, others might find it unappealing. And what I think the Los Santos Custom Shop and Benny's need to have is a clean car interior option where you can click that button and it'll be reverted to stock, like no owner had ever owned it. So if you buy a new car, you certainly wouldn't expect it to have a coffee cup or a cell phone on the little cell phone holder. Some people might want a clean interior, and I think that's an option that Rockstar should offer. This would, in my opinion, be very easy to do. You would just try to eliminate the trash and whatnot that would appear in the car, and there would be an option to totally wipe that out. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think that one would personally be awesome. All right, features 4 through 7 are all going to have to deal with the super galaxy yachts that were added with executives and other criminals. and the first of which is a better vehicle storage option for the yacht. So the yacht doesn't allow us to, one, spawn personal vehicles like helicopters or anything along those lines, even like a Hydra. Now, that doesn't make sense totally, but it can fit on the helipad, so why would you not want to include that? Another thing I thought would be really cool, and this is actually something that happens in real life, believe it or not. I guess when you get rich people with yachts, this is something that's a little bit more common, but like choosing to store one of your vehicles on the yacht. And I'll show you guys a GIF right now of how cool that would be if you could actually like store a supercar and have it on display on your yacht. So think about it. The yachts are supposed to symbolize money and wealth and importance. How cool would it be if you could just prop up your brand new T20 or Osiris or Adder on one of the helipads as like a cool party showcase? I think that would be awesome, and there needs to totally be a cool way where we could possibly introduce that into the yacht. Number 5, I'd love to see the yacht keep up with current updates of the stilt homes and apartments. One of those would be the heist room. Now, I know it totally doesn't make sense that you would, start a heist from a yacht, because like Lester and Trevor and Ron, they would all have to go to your yacht. But at the same rate, it's like, if you wanted to start one there, why should you be penalized? In fact, what if that's the only property you own? You'd spend $8 million on a place that can't even allow you to do heists. So I think that upgrade would totally be necessary. At the number 6 spot, as I kind of mentioned earlier, but this one goes into a little bit more detail, allow vehicles like the Buzzard to spawn at the second helipad, ultimately utilizing that second helipad. So if you have the 2 highest upgraded yachts, you only get 1 helicopter that spawns. Like, what's the point of that? What's the point of only having 2 helipads if only 1 helicopter is going to spawn there? So that really doesn't make sense to me. Utilize the second helipad. And at the number 7 spot, this one's kind of minor, but zooming out on the entire map when you're in the yacht. So the yacht acts very similarly to like the interior of a building or an apartment, where if you want to zoom out on the map, it'll only zoom out as like the interior yacht mode, which I think is kind of dumb, especially because 1, attackers can come to your yacht, 2, you might want to like check on where your friends are, and 3, it might be a cool way to see if other yachts are near you. So I think that those would be some definitely recommended, and I think personally a few needed options and upgrades that would make the Galaxy Super Yachts very, very cool to have in Grand Theft Auto Online. All right, at the number 8 spot, a better stealth system. I personally think the stealth system isn't very well done in Grand Theft Auto Online, so I'd like to see a stealth stat that actually means something. So a few examples could be maybe when you go into stealth mode, it'll take you off the radar for like 5 or 10 seconds. That's a feature that Lester can do for you, where you can call him and it'll take you off the radar for a minute. But would this actually encourage people to upgrade their stealth stat? If you are one of those guys that like to be an assassin, maybe upgrading the stealth mode would actually be very beneficial for you. And another thing the stealth stat could do is actually reduce the ability for polices maybe to detect you or to find you out. So let's say you had a very low stealth stat and like the minorest of crimes you would do would get you 1 or 2 stars. However, if you had a maxed out stealth stat, you know what this could do is maybe police wouldn't recognize you doing minor crimes, or they would maybe give you 1 or 2 stars less depending on the certain crime you did. Now, obviously, that's a rough system, and it's just a few things that I was able to think about. But nonetheless, I think that would be a great stealth system in the game, because the one we have right now really doesn't do anything particularly well, in my opinion, for the player. All right, at the number 9 spot, this one I think would be the most intense, and I ultimately think the hardest for Rockstar to do, and that would be a redoing of the car class system. So for example, there are just some cars that really don't belong in the class that they're in. The Ballista Compact, I think, is a sports car. I think the Moonbeam is a muscle car, which ultimately doesn't make sense. And they've also got cars like the Voltic, which is an electric car that's in the same category as like the Zentorno, as well as like the T20 and the Osiris. So I think there just needs to be a little bit of a shift and maybe even a shuffling of a few of the vehicles. And maybe they could even introduce a new category of cars, whether it's hypercars or whether it's a certain tuner class. I think that would be pretty cool. Now, obviously, that's more of an extreme one, but I certainly do think it could still be possible for Rockstar to do. All right, and finally, at the number 10 spot, the last thing I'd like to see, and this one's actually pretty simple, is a 6th property. We haven't gotten a new garage in a while now, and we're getting a bunch of cars. And if you watch any of my live streams or spending sprees, you know that every time a new car comes out, I literally have to just get rid of a vehicle. All my garages are full. I have no new space to add anything, so it's a total hassle in order to trying to get that done. So a 6 property would be awesome. And maybe if they were to introduce like a new design or a new type where you get like 15 cars, that would be even better. But of course, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. What do you think of my list about the top 10 features I'd love to see added in the next GTA Online update? If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.